2, 1. I'm hitting record.
Hello, everyone. Wait, you're just now hitting
Oh
record? I
no,
thought you were hitting
sorry.
record.
I hit. No, I was checking my audio. Okay, now do
Okay.
your intro. Sorry.
Okay. Hello,
Okay,
everyone.
go.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's been a while.
It's
It's been
been
a
a
while.
while.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go
Are
ahead.
you gonna interrupt me again?
No, 100%. No.
All right. Hello, everyone. NattyDucks here, and welcome to the ATG Podcast. We are back. Happy New Year. I am joined. Okay, shut up, TZ. I'm joined
I'm
with TZ.
so leaving that in.
I'm joined.
I am.
I'm joined with TZ. Okay, he's here.
I'm so leaving that in.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
knew the
god.
second it
I
happened,
just,
you were leaving it in. Anyway,
it's
how
gonna
have
be
you
so
been?
great. All right. I'm really good. Hold on. I gotta fix my camera real quick.
Bro, we
There
just
you
used
go.
to
Now
do this before we said it.
listen. Listen. It's okay. It's not a big deal. All right.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm fixed now. We're good.
I feel like it's
No,
every.
I've been good. It's been a while. Listen. We're always janky here. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well,
If you came here
especially.
for a professional podcast, you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Especially, like, I feel like every single time we're like, all right, guys, it's been a while. Sorry. We're back, though. This is
Yeah.
it. And then
This
it's gone. But this time I
this
think it's at
wasn't
least for a good
really
start.
our fault. Because we said that we were going to do some podcast episodes over the break, but then my computer decided to not show up. And we talked about doing it from my phone, but that just doesn't sound like it'd be
That
a
sounds
great
like a
idea.
nightmare and having to edit. Like, ugh. No.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah. So we suspended the podcast for the winter break, gave us both a little bit of a break from it, but we're back.
We're back.
I'm back at Res, and my computer is
ATG
still
All right.
not shipped yet. So
You'll get it eventually, maybe.
it,
In
it'll be there,
April.
hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully.
But today we're going to be talking. To kind of give you a summary of the episode, we're going to be talking about the DCU, the new DCU that was
Yeah.
announced by James Gunn a while back. If you're not aware, basically, DCEU was running for a while. That was with Henry Cavill's Superman and Batman and
We had a
the Batman
podcast
Superman
on
Justice
it
League.
that
We
I
talked
totally
a little bit
knew
about the past about it.
about everything in that episode.
Yeah, and then and then James Gunn came in and decided he was going to kind of revamp the whole thing and kind of go more comic accurate. What the hell?
Mhm.
So we're going to kind of break down all the movies that he announced in that initial video and kind of give our opinions on it. If you watched the Marvel video, or it's one of our first episodes,
I think it's the
we kind of
second
did that with
episode
Phase
we did.
4 and 5. So we're going to kind of do the same thing here, but with the DC projects.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Gonna
looking
be-
forward to that.
Gonna be cool.
Be a good episode.
But yeah, first we have what's new. I'll go first.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Lately I found a new game that came out. New Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is what it's called. It came out-
Yes. I've been seeing you've been playing this recently.
Yeah, it came out on the Xbox exclusively. It's called a timed exclusive. So it will be on the PlayStation, but like in spring. So it's kind of an exclusive at least for first. Because of Bethesda and the way that all works. I don't know. I'm not really a huge like single player kind of guy typically. I've played like the Spider-Man games, the Jedi like Fallen Order, those kind of games. But beyond that, not too many. But I saw this game and like I'm the Relic Raiders guy.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones kind of my
I saw you
jam.
playing it, and I was like, of course, Natty decided to play this game. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is on brand.
And I wasn't like, I'm not really a guy that goes out and buys like full price games because, $70 is a lot for,
100%.
Look, Minecraft is great. I played it once and it's good. All right. But, with the indie game, it was on Game Pass, which had, so was able to play that. And it's been really fun. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I would recommend it. It feels very Indiana Jones and like the portrayal. It feels like Harrison Ford, even though he wasn't in it.
Yeah, isn't it? It's Troy Baker who's voicing him, right?
But you can't even really tell. It's like, no, that's Indy as far as you're
that's good.
concerned. Not quite finished with it, but it's a great game. Recommend it for anyone who's like, I want a new game to play.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think it's a cool game.
Well, I'll have to check it out. I know if it's any good. I mean, I'd be able to run it on my computer, but I mean,
That's true.
Yeah. Single player games are a lot of fun. I mean, I've played a ton of them. But anyway, no, my news, I guess, is more of a story, I guess, of something funny but dangerous that happened over New Year's. So we went into a New Year's party, right?
Yep.
As you
Everyone
do,
does.
and everyone does that.
Yep.
And they had a firework display. I'm going to kind of summarize this story a little bit. But basically, they had a firework display, and right at midnight, they were like, "We're going to light all these fireworks, and it's going to be great." Um, and basically, what ended up happening was one of the fireworks fell off of the display and started firing at the crowd of people.
Oh.
Uh,
Terrifying.
yeah, it's a little scary. Honestly, I was in my head. I was like, it would have been great if Freebird started playing like the guitar solo, because that's what it was. It looked like one of those like war, like battlefield movie, like cutscenes is what it felt like.
Yeah. The
And
explosions. Like
it was more of like a funny thing than anything. Like, and after it was like, oh my god, like what the hell is happening? But then afterward, it was like, because nobody got hurt. That was the lucky thing. Nobody got seriously hurt. Some people did get hit with fireworks. I in being one of them. But nobody got seriously hurt or anything. So it was just more funny. But it was a funny experience.
Yeah.
In terms of New York's fireworks. So I guess my news about it is, for anyone handling fireworks out there, make sure you set them up correctly, because it could have gone really bad. Everyone in our situation got away without any injuries, but yeah, it could have gone really differently. So if you're doing fireworks, be careful. That's my PSA for today.
That's fair. PSA from the ATG podcast. Be careful with fireworks. Who would have thought?
Yeah, there you go. So I hear you've brought a game for us today. Natty.
I do have a game. I've been seeing it kind of around, seeing it on like TikToks, which, side note, might be getting banned in the US. Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that would have been a good news. Didn't think of that though.
I would have been.
I
would have been. Yeah.
Maybe another time.
We're not really TikTok creators though,
so we're not really. But
we have an account, but we just post our shorts that we don't really make anymore.
Okay, man. Whatever. Anyway, no, I have a game. Basically, we'll have a topic, and we're gonna try to name as many as we can in 30 seconds. And what we'll do is kind of say how many we think we can name, and we have to prove it. So like, you have to one up one person. So if I'll use like countries as an example. If I was like, okay, I can say a name of one country in 30 seconds.
And I'd be like, I can name 4 countries.
Yeah, and I'd be like, okay, I can name 10. And, you kind of keep going, and then,
all right.
Eventually it's like,
all right.
If I'm like, God, I can name 47.
You're and like, then you got to prove it, though.
Baloney. Yeah.
Right?
And then
you got to prove it. So then we have timers set up, and then we'll hit the timer, and then you got to actually name that much.
Yeah, 100%. So
okay.
You get it?
All right. Yeah, I get it.
All right. So the first one, I can name one DC hero in 30 seconds.
Oh, I can name 2 DC heroes in 30 seconds.
All right. I can name 5 DC heroes in 30 seconds.
I could do 10.
You could do 10 in 30 seconds? I could do 14.
You suck. Yeah. I could do 20.
You could do 20? There's no way.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean
20 in 30 seconds?
I'm going to prove it.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, all right. I'll count you in.
All right.
3,
count me down.
2, 1, go.
Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, Robin, Nightwing, if that counts, Starfire, Beast Boy, Cyborg, Shazam. I'm just trying to go through the movies here. Oh my God, there's so many more. No, wait, fuck. Shit, that's 13. Fuck. No, I've lost it. I'm out.
You had a good pace there, and then
I had a really good pace. I ran out of Justice League. There's so many more.
There really is.
I ran out of.
I was like, 20 is.
There's so many more.
To be fair, and if you kept the pace, you would have been.
Great, That's gonna bother me. That's gonna really bother me.
Now you're gonna be editing. You're gonna be like, why did you think of this one?
Yeah.
What an idiot.
That's gonna bother me.
Nah.
I hit the main ones.
There you go. Hey, you got Batman at least, so that's a positive.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, even like Robin and Nightwing, they're technically the same character. Like, because Nightwing used to be Robin, but I don't know. That's a gray area.
We'll count it
Because
because
like
we need all the
you
help
could
we
go
can
into
get.
like, because then I could go into like, okay, Red Hood, Red Robin, Damian Wayne Robin. You know what I mean? Like, we could be here all day doing that.
All the
Yeah,
different
like I was trying to, I was trying to avoid different name, like different people who would share the same name. So I don't know. I kind of screwed myself there. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next one. I can name one DC villain in 30 seconds.
Oh man, I can name 2 DC villains in 30 seconds. I have no faith in myself anymore.
I can name 5 in 30 seconds.
I can name 7.
I can name 10 DC villains in 30 seconds.
Oh yeah?
I don't know. Oh no.
All right, let's hear it.
No. Okay.
Let's hear it.
All right.
I'm just curious now. You ready?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Lex Luthor, Doomsday, Joker, Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, King Shark, if you count.
I count it.
The Scarecrow, Two-Face.
Yep. 2 left.
Clayface.
Yep.
And
6 seconds.
Ra's al Ghul.
There you go. There's 10.
That was a lot of Batman villains, to be fair, but
yeah, you just run through Batman's rogues gallery.
I tried to get some Superman ones in there. I'm sure, yeah. Reverse Flash. There you go.
There you go.
10's not too bad, but yeah. Anyway.
10's not that bad. 20's hard off the top of your head too, right?
Yeah, and in 30 seconds, it's a little tricky.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more for us.
Alrighty.
I can name one movie director in 30 seconds.
I could maybe name 2 movie directors in 30 seconds.
It's a lot. I feel like it's a low. I can name 4 movie directors in 30 seconds.
I'll say I can name 6 movie directors in 30 seconds.
Oh, I can name 7.
Fuck it. I can name I can name 10.
10? You didn't even go to 8. You know what? I don't know if you can. I'm gonna prove it.
Okay.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
James Gunn, David Ayers, Martin Scorsese, John Favreau. Does Dave Filoni count? I don't know. He's done Does he done movies more of a show? I guess. He's directing a movie. James Mangold, Lin-Manuel Miranda. He did Tick Tick Boom. Fucking the Russo brothers, which is technically 2.
You're out of time.
But I'm gonna count as 1. I'm out of time now.
Even if you counted as 2, that's 9.
Yeah.
And if you went with 8, I would have given it to you, to be honest with you, and you would have gotten it.
Probably.
It's a little bit.
Well then, okay.
One, but hey, that's how the cookie crumbles, as they say.
That is how the
anyway,
cookie crumbles. Yeah.
That's our game for today. So, yeah. Well, all right.
There you go. I took 2 L's today.
According to our podcast outline, we end the podcast here and then after explain the new DCU a bit.
Then we'll explain everything. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
See you all next time. Bye.
All right. So let's just start with the DCU. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So they announced a ton of movies over. James Gunn did a whole video breakdown of everything. Kind of gave us the projects, the confirmed projects. There's been some announcements after that, but for the most part, everything that was announced has at least had some sort of development. So things that have already come out, Creature Commandos is already in full swing. I think it's already all out at this point. I have not seen it as of this point. The cast looks great. What I have seen of it, I've seen clips of it here and there, has looked really good. And although it's not something I'm necessarily interested in because it's kind of just like Suicide Squad, but with monsters.
Yeah.
It looks interesting, and if I do get the chance to watch it, I probably will. So what do you think of Creature Commandos? Like, what was your first kind of impression of it when you heard of that?
Haven't watched it. Looks interesting. Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's kind of just, from what I could tell, just kind of the Suicide Squad, but like, you know, maybe.
Well, it takes place after the Suicide Squad from
True.
James Gunn, right? Because that is technically still canon,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's not DCU. It's still that takes place in the DCE or DCU.
Yeah.
Same with like Peacemaker, right?
Yeah.
I think the only thing in Peacemaker that's not canon is like that final scene at the end of Peacemaker where like the Justice League shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, no, I think Creature Commandos is it's an interesting project because I think they picked I think they picked good people to voice everybody.
Yeah.
In terms of like the voice, I think the voice, and I know they've said that anyone who voices someone in animation will play them in live action, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
They were kind of doing that with Marvel Animation at first over there, like with the What If series. Those were all kind of voiced, but I think they changed the way
they tried to get
it.
as many people back as they could.
Yeah.
I know they asked a lot of people, but there were some people like Robert Downey Jr. and Spider-Man and Tom Holland, right?
Yeah.
There were some people just didn't come back, and then there were some people they just didn't use because of that.
Yeah.
But I think what's cool is that they are focusing on anybody who plays them in animation will be in live action.
Yeah.
Because it makes it like super consistent.
Yeah.
And then you know that the people that they cast for voices, they're not just casting because they have a good voice, it's because they can play them in real life.
Yeah. So
I don't know how much costume and stuff they did for this. Like, I don't know if they like were like, hey, let's bring everybody in and see what you guys look like for live action, right?
And then we do that.
And then they can animate off of that. Like, I don't know if they did that at all. Because I'm kind of curious to see how the look and the art style of Creature Commandos will translate to live action. That's what I'm more curious about.
That will be interesting.
In terms of like other than like the actual show, because I don't know how much the actual show interests me. That's just because it's not my thing, but that's not nothing to do with actual.
No, I get you.
You get it. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, I get it.
And then after that, there's Superman.
Dude, Superman. Excited.
Superman trailer came out over the break.
Yeah.
What did you think of the trailer? We've been talking. Can I just say we talked about this movie a lot over the last little bit?
Yeah, I mean,
as we talked about the movie change, the name change, the set photos, and now we're talking about the trailer.
Like
so, what did you think of the trailer?
I like the trailer a lot. To be fair, I think it's cool seeing. I like the suit. You know, I do enjoy it. I like the tone it's sort of going with. In the setting of. Like it's a playful enough color, and there's a lot of like comic accuracy in the sense of like like Nathan Fillion being Green Lantern
with the bowl cut.
Yeah, with the bowl cut looks awful.
Well, he's playing Guy Gardner, right? Which is the third Green Lantern. It's not Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
And it's not Jon Stewart, who's going to be the main Green Lantern of this Earth,
but like
I like how it's already an established universe. I think that's my favorite part. Because I think, especially with Marvel being where they're at, and especially even where DC started, which made sense when they started the universe, with Man of Steel. Before, I think, because you're coming in at this time, everybody's pretty used to, superheroes at this point. They've been around for a number of years, so there's no point in going back to like a world without superheroes. And trying to ground it in our reality. No one wants to see that anymore.
And I think like there is a place for that.
There's a time and place for it. Right? But for a connected universe is what I'm talking about.
Especially because
you might as well.
I mean, to get to the future like stories where everything is a lot of work that goes into it that like we've seen before. And so really you're kind of
you don't need a Superman origin again. You don't need a Batman origin again. Is what I'm saying.
We kind of know those.
We just got the Batman origin and the Superman origin, so
so it makes sense. It definitely looking forward to it. Crypto.
Yeah, I think Nicholas Hoult is gonna be really cool as Lex.
Yeah, he looks great. As I said, Crypto being in it is kind of legendary. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like Crypto being in it, and then
all of a sudden he's I
know,
but
I know that that the actress, I can't remember her name right now, but who's playing Supergirl in the Supergirl movie, in which we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I know she's cast in this movie, so I'm assuming we're going to get some sort of end credit scene or something
yeah.
with her that will tee up her movie.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to. But I mean, right after Superman, Peacemaker is coming out. Peacemaker season 2. I have not seen Peacemaker season 1. Again, we'll see how it is. John Cena, I think, is great in this role, and I think they should keep him around.
I agree.
And
I wonder, like, I don't know. It feels a little weird having like James Gunn kind of play his favorites with it, and I get it from his standpoint, right? Like he made the character,
yeah,
he enjoys it, but I also kind of see. I don't know what actor it was. I think it was Zachary Levi after Shazam bombed the second one. He was like, well, why can't Shazam keep going? But it's just, whoever you like sort of thing.
And you know what? I'm going to say this for anyone, because I didn't mind Shazam. Okay. Yeah. The first Shazam movie is a good, like, down to earth, like, just like street level superhero movie. Like, it's not like this big dramatic, like, gigantic superhero, right? I think what they did with it was really smart.
Yeah.
I think the second one kind of went off the rails a little bit. And I know you're supposed to go bigger and grander for every single movie.
Yeah.
But I think there was also a bit of a disconnect in the second one that I felt in terms, especially between the guy who was playing Shazam and the guy who was playing Billy Batson. They didn't seem like the same character in the second movie. It worked a little bit more in the first one because it was like, oh, he just got his superpowers. So, yeah, he's acting like a big idiot whenever he's Shazam. But then in the second one, it would be like he's acting like basically like he's like a 7-year-old with superpowers.
And then,
And then he turns back into Billy Batson, who's supposed to be like 17, 18.
And he acts that way.
It
makes sense in that.
And he acts that way. Like, I think it's Asher Angel is his name.
Yeah.
He did a great job. Like, everything with him was fantastic. And I'm not blaming Zachary Levi at all. I think it's a little bit of like a direction or how they wrote him, too. I think there was a bit of a disconnect where they were trying to make him like Zachary, the comic relief of the movie.
Yeah.
And if they were going to do that, that's fine. But then you can't make Billy Batson the heart of the movie because they're the same guy.
Yeah.
They're not. It's not like Venom where they're two different people, right?
Yeah.
They're the same dude. They share the same consciousness. It's just one is an older superhero, and it's the same person. So I think they missed on that idea in the second one. I think it worked in the first one, but it missed in the in the second one.
But
so
I guess what I'm kind of poking at is like, do you think it's a good idea and fair, I suppose, that some stuff from the DCEU is coming along and some things aren't, instead of just
think it's
wiping the slate clean?
I think the problem is, though, because at this point, if you brought Shazam back, and this is kind of why I was getting at this point as well, why I ranted on about Shazam 2 for that long.
Yeah, you're good.
I think the point of it, though, is that if you bring a character like him back who headlined his own movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you bring Zachary Levi back, who isn't necessarily a young guy anymore, right?
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to play Shazam for another 10 years? But then also, you're going to have to replace the kid who played him, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like 24 now or 22 now, right? He's not going to be able to play Billy Batson anymore. Billy Batson's supposed to be like a teenager.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work, is what I'm saying. If you're going to replace one, you got to replace the other.
Mm-hmm.
And also, he was more tied towards the superhero because like Wonder Woman showed up at the end of his movie, and they're replacing Wonder Woman. So, I think all the headline superheroes kind of got cut. Was the main thing. Like Peacemaker, like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, do you know, if not for this movie, did you know who Peacemaker was before that?
To be fair, no.
Exactly. Did you know who Shazam kind of was?
Yeah.
Before his movie?
But
because he was Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
He's one of the first superheroes. So.
But I would say so.
So,
I get you.
I think it's a little different
in the sense of space, whereas like why would you introduce another Peacemaker, I suppose? Like if you were going to, like, if you were going to have a new universe and introduce new characters, why would you redo Peacemaker when you already have done him?
And Peacemaker was disconnected enough from the DCU. Like I know Bloodsport was like, oh, he shot Superman, put him in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. But we never told which Superman that was.
Yeah.
We never saw Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it still works in the sense. I think the only thing they'll end up retconning from that era, like
Yeah,
the Suicide Squad, is Harley Quinn.
that's what I
Not
was
because I
thinking.
think Margot Robbie is bad in the role, or I think she's fantastic in as Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they're probably going to do a new Joker,
Yeah,
and if they even do Harley, is the thing. I don't even know if they'll get to a Harley at this point.
yeah. I mean, she's a super popular character.
Yeah,
Margot Robbie obviously does an
I just think they're
incredible
gonna.
job,
I think they're
but
gonna focus on other villains. Is the
yeah,
problem?
I agree with that. I do wonder if they. Do you think that they would recast Margot Robbie if they did Harley Quinn?
Yes,
Okay,
I think so. I think she's probably gonna need to be younger at this point.
that's fair.
At the time, by the time they do it, right?
Yeah,
Because I don't think Brave and the Bold will do a Joker, and like that's
yeah,
not till like 2027 or whatever.
whenever. Yeah,
So by the time that happens, and then you like, and the potential sequels probably another 2-3 years after that.
yeah. It was.
So you know,
Yeah, it was interesting the Suicide Squad how it kind of bridged a little bit of like its own
yeah,
thing 100%, but there's like different sort of cameo sort of thing. Like I would say like Harley Quinn in there, but also like Rick Flag was in the other one, Boomerang was in
yeah.
the other one. So it, like how does that all connect?
And then we move right into after
But
Peacemaker. Kind of, that's kind of the last thing that ties us to the DCEU.
yeah,
Other than, I mean, Amanda Waller, which is kind of, I'm going to kind of pair these two together. Amanda Waller they're just doing it. I don't even know what it's going to be about. So I don't even know if I really want to talk about it that much. Other than it's going to be about Viola Davis as Amanda Waller,
yeah.
which, I mean, I don't see a reason why they would have recasted her at all.
No, I think
She's
she fits the
fantastic in that
character
role.
great.
And,
Not that no one
yeah,
else
if
could
you're
do
bothered,
it, but
no, but I think she's so good in that role, and I don't see
Mhm.
why you'd ever recast her. So,
yeah.
but
Especially
let's
because
talk
the
about
age isn't
Supergirl
nice
because
to
I
do
have some
that.
stuff to talk about with this. Did you hear about the big news with Supergirl?
Big news, like recent big news?
Yeah,
No.
this happened like last week.
Yeah, then no.
Okay, so Supergirl had a casting
Mm-hmm.
that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa was cast in this role in
As
this movie.
as Supergirl?
No,
way.
he was cast as Lobo.
Oh, okay. That
Which-
makes sense a lot.
Yeah, which is the character he thought he was going to play originally.
Before
When he was brought
yeah,
in to
it's like,
do
I'm playing Lobo,
Aquaman.
and then it's like, no, you're playing Aquaman.
Yeah,
Huh?
because it was Batman v Superman. So he said, "Oh, I'm coming in to be a third act villain as
Mhm.
Lobo, and I'm gonna fight Batman and Superman. Oh, that's gonna be sick."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, you're playing Aquaman." And they were like, he was like, "What?"
Yeah. Huh?
So they're bringing back Momoa, and Gunn did say we might bring back actors as other characters,
Yeah.
which I think is fun. I think he's gonna do a fantastic job in that.
Yeah.
I know the comic run that they're basing it off of is apparently really good. It's like Supergirl's on Krypton, and it's like a broken piece of it, and like
Yeah.
everybody's dead, and she's really alone, and so it's not even going to be taking place on Earth apparently.
Yeah. Has the DC
Which I think is
ever focused on anything outside of Earth? I feel like it has.
Oh yeah,
Well, like as in
They
like
have.
the like movies wise.
movies? No, I don't think
Like
so.
obviously like comics and shows.
Comics has, yeah.
But I mean
It's mainly around Earth, but that's just because most of the characters
Yeah.
are there.
so,
Other than like Green Lantern, but I mean Green Lantern will kind of do that
Yeah.
as well. But
I like how we're getting kind of an intergalactic side of things. I think
yeah,
similarly how like in the MCU we got that with Guardians and
Yeah.
Thor to an extent as
um,
so I think it's cool how it's gonna be there and separate.
yeah, and I like how it's going to be taking place on Krypton.
Mm-hmm.
And a broken piece of it, we're going to kind of get to see that part of it because we're not going to see Superman's origin.
Mhm.
So getting to kind of see Krypton and maybe getting to see a bit of the origin of
Yeah.
Superman in that movie will how we'll get his origin a little bit of
Yeah.
like what happened to Jor-El and who will be playing. They'll probably cast a Jor-El.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to top the casting in Man of Steel because I mean Russell Crowe is fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Moving on to some of the other two, like, because those are kind of the end of the ones that have dates on them. Everything else is kind of like they haven't really been announced in terms of times or when they're going to come out or really a lot of the details in them. So we mentioned Amanda Waller. That's kind of the first one. Other ones are the Dynamic Duo, which apparently is going to be an animated film
Yep.
with Nightwing and Red Hood.
Ooh.
Which I think is very interesting. I think that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I hope they take some of the concepts that kind of came out with the Batman Beyond film that was being hinted at, and they kind of working into this. This is kind of huge though because this means we're getting a Nightwing in this universe. I think this is in the DCU.
Yeah.
But this wasn't on the original slate that James Gunn announced.
Yeah.
Red Hood. I'm a huge fan of Red Hood, so I mean, I'm hyped. I'm interested into seeing who they're gonna cast for these roles.
Yeah.
Because it's really gonna determine the ages for what they're gonna do with Robins, and then in respective to Batman. You have anything to add about that before I move on?
No, I don't.
All right, cool. So then, awesome. And then after that, we have the Authority, which I have literally no idea what this is. I know it's a team of heroes that are kind of like bad guys, but like anti-heroes who kill people. So I don't even know is this live action or animated?
No clue.
All right, cool. Someone will be able, if someone knows in the comments, please tell us. I think this is good. I'm interested in this project. I hope they go R-rated with it, because if it is like they are anti-heroes, I think that is going to be important. I know Creature Commandos uses a lot of blood and stuff like that, but it's an animated project, so it's a little easier. If it is live action, then I hope they go R-rated with it.
Yeah.
And I hope they just lean right in it, because I think DC can do that. It can be darker from project to project. After that, we got Booster Gold, which kind of an interesting pick for a person to do a project with.
Yeah. So do you know? Can you explain kind of who Booster Gold is from your what you know about him?
So what I know about Booster Gold is he's a dude from the future. Yeah. Who kind of uses future tech, and he came back to be a superhero. He's kind of supposed to be this cocky, like pretty boy asshole type thing. I know a lot of people. I know he's kind of like he has some different ways of carrying himself, but he doesn't really have any powers, and he works a lot with Ted Cord, who's one of the first Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to tie this in with the Blue Beetle movie, because they said that Blue Beetle was going to be a part of the DC universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he might be in this, and that's how they'll bring Miguel from Cobra Kai back.
Yeah. I do think it helped in that movie that was also kind of similar to like the Suicide Squad, for example. Like, it was disconnected more so.
Yeah. I really think they should bring him back, and I'm going to tell you in what I think they should bring him back later. Yeah. But you could probably guess just by, if I know you have the list open, so I know you could probably tell. But what? But so after Booster Gold, we have Brave and the Bold, which is with Batman. Sit down. I got a lot to say about this one.
Me too.
They're doing Damian Wayne, which James Gunn said is his favorite Robin. I think this guy needs to go read a comic book, but that's just me. Hey, if whatever Robin's your favorite, whatever. I'm kidding. But I think if there's a movie or a project that they should follow with this, it should be Son of Batman. It's an animated film from the DC animated universe. I think you could expand it a little bit and make it more about Batman and less just shoving Damian down everyone's throat, because that's what that movie kind of did. But it also kind of fixes two problems. One, you get to introduce more of a fantastical side with Batman with the League of Shadows. Yes, it'll be kind of similar to Batman Begins, but you're going to do more of like the secret society part of it.
Yeah.
And then you also do the Lazarus Pit. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Do the Lazarus Pit. And then you combo that with the villain being Deathstroke, right? Because in that movie, Deathstroke's the main bad guy. He's trying to like take over the League of Shadows. And spoiler alert, sorry. But then you also fix the problem, because the Ben Affleck Batman movie that was announced originally was going to have Deathstroke in it, and it was like everybody was hyped up for that, and then that got canned and turned into the Matt Reeves movie. So you finally get that fight that everybody's been wanting. You can recreate that Arkham Origins trailer that everybody loves. I'll probably, if in editing, it's probably playing right now.
Yeah.
So we can kind of get to see something like that with him, and then you can kind of also introduce Damian to newer audiences in a nice way, and have the Al Ghul's kind of be a part of that, and you can introduce Gotham and all that stuff. So I think that's the movie they should kind of sample from. But what do you think?
I mean, yeah, sounds good. I'm not really opposed to. I think you could do a lot with it. I hope they definitely keep it and make it different from the Batman. Obviously they are, but I want it to be very distinct from one another and not carry too much similarity.
Let me ask you this.
Yep.
What's your opinion on Batman's suit? What do you think? What kind of do you have an opinion on it?
Has it been announced?
Because a lot of people online, a lot of people are talking online about giving that Gunn might give him the blue and gray suit with the white logo. What are your thoughts on that?
Not opposed to it. I don't know. I'm not exactly set in stone with what the suit.
Do you think Batman should have trunks?
I think there's less to be done with the goofy side of things, whereas Superman, I think, kind of needed it. But Superman and Batman are kind of more or less polar opposites in the sense of like one is like very cheerful and bright, and the other's kind of dark and gritty. I mean, that's kind of.
I think they should definitely go more or like less armored with it.
Yeah, I would definitely make it.
I would rather them. I mean, I'm a huge fan of this, but I think they should pretty much just copy the Arkham Asylum suit or City suit. Yeah. I think those two outfits are kind of the best ones in terms of like you get the tights and or like everybody wants to see that they want to see they want to see less armor. I think is the thing, because Batman has been very like armorized over the last little bit. I think people want less of that and more of like the fiber type suits.
Yeah.
So I think if they're gonna do it, the Arkham one is the best one to go off of. And my only issue with the yellow logo is you're either gonna have it look too much like Michael Keaton, or it's just gonna look too goofy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my same problem with the blue suit too, is that it could look too goofy. And I think doing black and gray is almost your better option. Yeah. But like a more black and gray. I think gray is still an important color. I don't think you just do all black like every Christopher Nolan suit. But
yeah. I think it will be cool though that it's going to be obviously a more established and kind of more seasoned Batman that's kind of been around. He's had all the Robins. He's had all the trauma that comes with that sort of stuff. Yep. I mean, the Ben Affleck Batman had a little bit of that, but you just didn't.
He was too far. He was too far the other way. He was too much trauma. Exactly. They killed off every Robin, and now he was Punisher. Like he went too far the other way. I agree. You need to find that middle ground.
Like you watch the Batman, and like that Batman is very much like not
younger.
Yeah, younger and inexperienced, and so I think having a more experienced Batman is going to be good. Not murder Punisher Batman.
Do you have let me ask you this. Do you have an opinion on who they should cast yet, or?
No, but I've heard someone the suggestions that if they brought back Henry Cavill to play Batman instead.
That'd be funny.
And like
you would do a good one actually. You would not do bad.
You could do good. Honestly,
I don't think they will, only because he was the poster boy of the DCEU.
Yeah, and
that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Although I think I love Henry Cavill, so I would really hope that he would get something. I hope he does get something in the DC.
Yeah, and I think it would be honestly kind of a great like, sorry what happened in the DCEU with all of that. We're still gonna give you a role. It's not Superman, but it's something new.
You could play Batman.
Yeah. And I think that would be cool.
It's kind of the second best one, or the best one, in my opinion.
Exactly.
I love Superman, but I'm more of a Batman guy myself.
Oh, 100%. And I do think that could be. Could be good.
I mean, I know a name that a lot of people are throwing out. He might be a little too old at this point, but I mean, I would love to see Jensen Ackles get cast. I know he's Soldier Boy and he's locked up in that contract right now, but I think he would do such a good job.
Yeah, I could see
and I would love to see that. But that's all I'm going to give I mean, if anyone watching has their opinions on who they should cast, put in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know. Honestly, go on YouTube, and I'm down to talk about it.
Yeah,
It could be anybody. Honestly, I think it's more about getting somebody who's passionate about the role, less of they look like the character. Because I think that was the only issue with Ben Affleck. I don't think he really understood the character until the end. He said that he didn't really get Batman until the last project. Anyway, let's just keep running.
Like I think he was good in The Flash, which I think is crazy.
He had one scene where I think he was. I think he had one scene where I was like, wow, that was really good. And after that, I was like,
then there was the Wonder Woman scene, and I was like, okay.
The Wonder Woman scene that lost me a lot of hope, but I don't really think that was on him. Anyway, let's just keep moving.
Move on. We're not looking in the past. We're looking at the
after
future.
That, we're getting the redemption of the Lanterns. Green Lantern is happening. not redemption. It's just called Lanterns. Green
Over
Lantern is finally coming back. I think
over and
he
over.
should have He should have came back a long time ago.
Yeah. I think they were scared because of the Ryan Reynolds movie, which, I mean, fair enough.
I think it's good that they're doing Jon Stewart. I like that Green Lantern a lot more than Hal Jordan.
Agree.
I think he's a better character. I liked him in the animated universe.
Yeah.
The DCAU or DCAMU or whatever it is. I don't even know what the acronym is, but I like that version of Green Lantern a lot more. I like how they're doing that. I like that they're kind of building that version of the Justice League of like Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
I don't see the Amazon, like the Amazonia, the Paradise Island show on here, but that was also announced. I know that's a whole other thing, but sorry. I think I like the casting of Green Lantern. I like the casting of Hal Jordan. I like how they're making him more of like a mentor figure. He's probably going to end up dying, but that's just my opinion. I think he's probably going to end up dying, and it'll be this whole thing of. I like how it's like Men in Black, but in space.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it seems to be.
Cool.
That's kind of seems to be what James Gunn was going for with this. And I think it has a lot of potential. I think this is going to be really sick. I think this is a show. I don't think it's a movie, though. I think it's a show, which I'm still okay with.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they have more imagination than let's just make guns. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Because it's such a cool power.
It is such a cool power. I hope they go into more of the... I hope they do Sinestro, is what I'm kind of hoping. I really hope they do Sinestro as the villain. If they don't do Sinestro, then I think they should do Atrocitus. I think those are really your only two villains that you go with off the start. I think Sinestro just works a little better, especially in a show, because you can do his whole story.
Yeah.
You can have him start as like the original mentor of Hal Jordan or something. And it's like a Count Dooku thing where he's a fallen Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Or a fallen Green Lantern. In this sense.
Yeah, he's a Jedi.
I think they're gonna do something like that. But I hope they kind of avoid Earth in a sense and kind of make it more of an attack on the Green Lantern core as a whole. And then do Jon Stewart's backstory and figure out how he got the lantern and kind of do his backstory.
Yeah.
And don't even explain how Hal Jordan got it or anything like that. And maybe even have it so he knows that Green Lanterns are a thing because Guy Gardner is already out there and Hal Jordan's already out there, and kind of explain that whole mythos of it all. So I'm looking forward to this. I think it should be pretty good.
Yeah. I do hope that
I'm excited to see more stuff about it.
Spacebound and galactic, similar to Supergirl. I do think that'd be cool. Space Cop.
And after that, we're getting a Swamp Thing movie or show. I think it's a movie, because they talked about it being a horror.
Yeah, I don't have too many opinions on Swamp Thing per se.
No, he's a cool character.
Yeah,
he's got. I know he's kind of like. I like that they're doing some sort of horror thing with him because I think it's a good character to do it on.
Yeah, I'm just not a horror guy
and
in terms of movies I watch.
No, yeah, but I think for horror fans, I think that's going to be big, and I hope that it lives up to the horror name that I think that it's been titled as. I don't know who's directing this at all, but I hope they pick a good director for it, and I think depending on how they do it, they could really do like the cursed monster type story, right, where he's really not that bad of a dude, but they all see him as this like beast.
You could do something with it.
You could easily do it so this is going to be a cool story. And then I think Swamp Thing, he has enough like of a fan base, and he's kind of well known enough that as long as the trailer's somewhat good, you can get the general public. And a lot of people probably won't even know that this is in the DCU. I think that's how they got to market this as not even in the DCU and kind of make it just look like a really cool horror movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think this would be really cool. After that,
and they're like, the DC logo comes up, they're like, huh?
Yeah, they'll be like, what the fuck? Anyway, moving on. We're just gonna keep rolling through it unless you have something to add about Swamp Thing. All right. And then after that, we have Teen Titans, which I kind of was hinting at a lot throughout this. Dynamic duo. I think Nightwing needs to be the team leader of this team.
Yep.
I think Damian Wayne probably should be on this team because he's going to be an actual teen around this time. And then in terms of your cast, I know that a lot of people online are saying they're going to do the one from the animated show, that being Robin, Starfire, Raven, Cyborg, and
Yeah.
Beast Boy. I think they should change it up a little bit. I know everybody wants to see Cyborg.
Yeah.
I don't think they should do Cyborg.
Yeah.
Only because I think that you could throw Blue Beetle in that placement.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I want to see a Cyborg, you could do both, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
not
think
as opposed to just them having the just standard like cast because
I'm okay with it.
it's,
And
I
then
mean, it's a
like, but
good
do you
team.
throw Damien in there too?
That's the question. That's the question.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if Nightwing is going to be older, I'm assuming they're going to do something similar to the Titan show or the what's it called, the animated universe, where like Raven, Beast Boy, and Damien are all around the same age, and then Starfire and Dick are like older.
Yeah.
Right? So then you could kind of maybe make Cyborg younger, and if you wanted to throw, because by that time Blue Beetle will be around their age as well.
Yeah.
So you could throw Blue Beetle on the team as well and have him be a little older.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I hope they.
Or
do
you just
keep 'em
cut one of them.
teens
I don't know.
You know what I mean? And not
Hmm?
just. I hope they definitely
Sorry?
lean into the teen part of it though,
Yeah.
and not just be like,
I
it's a Teen Titans, but it's gritty and
Yeah.
they've all
Don't make it gritty.
Yeah.
Don't make it gritty.
I
Don't
would
do
not.
what Titans did.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Um,
saying is what they should not do. Don't do
I
that.
think they should. I think they should do the Judas contract storyline.
Mhm.
I think have Deathstroke be the villain.
Yeah.
He's their most iconic villain in terms of
Yeah.
like
Would
just
be
in general.
interesting having
And
Deathstroke as the villain of that and Brave and the Bold. Same.
if they don't do the Deathstroke as the villain for Batman,
Then yeah.
then I'd say do it for this. But if you do that for Batman, then I would say tweak it and do Trigon.
Yeah. That's fair.
And just go for the Trigon storyline, because those are going to be your two best villains in terms of
Yeah.
like, don't do fucking like Brother Blood or anything like that. Like, that's gonna suck. Don't do that. Just do Trigon. Like,
Yeah, I get you.
just do Trigon. Like, cut the BS. Just
Yeah.
and then after that, we got a untitled Deathstroke and Bane film, which I think is really a weird two picked people
Yeah.
put in.
That's a duo of all
That's
time
a
right there.
really weird duo. Like if you were gonna pick any Batman villains, Deathstroke and Bane are kind of a weird two pick. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever seen the two of them in a comic panel or a project together.
Yeah.
Please, somebody send me something
Yeah,
where
that
the two of
doesn't mean
them
that it
have a
couldn't
storyline.
be good.
Doesn't mean it can't be good. I think it could be very good. They're two very interesting characters.
You just haven't
I'm
seen
glad
it,
that we're
right?
getting
Yeah.
Bane. I hope that if we're gonna get a Bane, I hope we get the Arkham Origins type Bane or the animated series type Bane,
Yeah, like
where
a-
he's an
A
actual
bigger, not just a guy with a
bigger dude. Yeah, not just the Hulk. Yeah. Kind of similar to what they did with the Dark Knight, I
Yeah.
guess. But then still give him that enhancement type
Yeah.
of feature, you know. But in Arkham Origins, he figures out Batman's identity, right? So like he's an insanely intelligent dude.
Yeah.
So I think they should do that type of character.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that's announced, which this would probably be the only reason why I wouldn't see this character showing up at Teen Titans, is because Blue Beetle was announced an animated series,
Yeah.
which was it's to be determined. So that's probably the confirmation right there that he's not going to be in Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And they're gonna keep him to do his own thing. I still think it's a good idea. Blue Beetle is a great character.
Yep.
The actor they cast is a great actor. And he's kind of like DC's version of Spider-Man in a sense.
Yeah.
In a sense, like similar types. I mean, Nightwing's closer to Spider-Man, but in a sense of like a solo hero with powers and all that.
Yeah.
You can do like I think if this is like a spectacular Spider-Man type thing for Blue Beetle, I think it'd be great. Natty?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I thought you were.
Sorry, you just went quiet. You went quiet. I was done.
Oh,
No,
you
I
were
was
done. All right, fair enough.
I was done. Yeah.
No, yeah,
Got anything to add?
No, honestly, Blue Beetle was a good movie. I think.
Overall, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Overall, what do you think of these announcements?
Overall, excited for the future.
Yeah.
Curious to see where it goes. Optimistic, I should say, but also a little skeptical with some of the things of like, okay, like
I think
if it goes
it's
wrong,
good.
how do they recover for like a
They
long
don't.
time? Like you can't really, at least for like 20
I
years.
I think it's good that I like that they didn't announce a Justice League movie.
Oh yeah.
I really like that. But let me ask you another question. What
Yeah.
if there was one project you want to see, or one character you want to see, or a storyline you want to see?
That
What would it
isn't
be?
already
That isn't announced.
I think
I'll give you mine.
Yeah.
Mine's The Flash.
That's where I was leaning. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And I think if they're gonna do a Flash, they got to do Wally West.
Yeah. I do.
Don't
think
do Barry
Flash would
Allen.
be a good one.
And I think they got to do Reverse Flash as the villain, because that was my only thing with the Flash movie.
Yeah.
The fact that you did the Flashpoint storyline and Reverse Flash does not show up.
Yeah. I think there's
Pretty stupid.
kind of a lack of Wonder Woman in here, and like I think.
Well,
think
yeah,
of
okay, so
the
it was
three heroes of DC.
So
Superman,
there
Batman,
was
and Wonder
there was something announced. I don't know why it wasn't on this list. I don't know if it was canned or whatever. But they did announce like a Paradise Island type show,
Yeah.
and it was going to take place on the Mascara.
Okay.
And they said it was like Game of Thrones, but with Amazons.
Yeah.
And so I assume Wonder Woman will be the main character, or at least in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I assume she's going to have some sort of role to play in that. But I assume we're not going to get her origin like at all.
Yeah.
And they'll kind of go simpler with it, because the Wonder Woman movie was very well received, and I doubt they're going to want to step on those toes of that movie at all. So,
but
yeah, I mean, for me, I think. Hell was that?
What?
Sorry, someone's screaming outside. Sorry.
Nah,
All right,
just college for you.
What was I talking about? I think overall for me, I'll count myself back in. 3, 2, 1. I think overall for me, though, I think this is a pretty good slate of movies, and I think everything it flows nicely from like fantastical project with the main title character to something unknown that you've never seen before, and I like that, because I think they could have played safe, which is what the DCEU tried to do, and they were playing safe too much to the point of you lost your main audience with the shit that they already knew of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh, here's a Man of Steel movie, and it's okay, but then there's Batman v Superman. Okay, Batman and Superman are in a movie. Wow. Okay, it sucks. Okay, now we're in New Justice League. Everybody's in it. Okay, cool. I know the Justice League. Let me go there. Okay, but it sucks. And it's like, okay, but Wonder Woman just came out. That's fantastic. All right, cool. Maybe there is going to be hope. And then they come out with something else, and it's like, okay, now it sucks again. You know what I mean? It's like it was too much up and down with your audience. Where I think with this, you're giving people stuff they know, but then they're also coming out with stuff that they don't know as well.
Yeah.
So there's more of a chance of like, oh, I'm gonna go check out, like, I'm gonna go see what The Authority is about. Like, what's like no expectations for The Authority.
Expectations is a thing, whereas like Superman, there is expectations. Batman, there would be expectations. There
exactly. So there was a lot of hype around those big title characters. So giving us stuff like Booster Gold and Swamp Thing and Deathstroke and Bane film, I think that's important by lowering it. It's kind of similar what Marvel did in the sense of like giving you like Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Like the comic readers. Comic readers knew who these people were, but I mean, comic readers are gonna know everything, right?
Yeah.
So
for the general audience, it was like, oh, it's not the X-Men and it's not Spider-Man. Who cares?
Yeah.
But
so and that's part of the reason why the Tom Holland Spider-Mans were so hated on it when they first came out. Like a lot of the general public were like, yeah, they're okay. They're not as good as so and so. Because those are your main title characters. So I think though this entire universe relies on this Superman movie doing well.
I do agree. I mean, it doesn't have to be the best movie of all time, but it definitely can't.
It has to make money.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be good. It has to be to the point.
And you know what?
People actually enjoyed it and are excited for the next one.
and I'll give you a thought, or at least my point and my take on this, because some people are like, I mean, we'll see how it does. The way I look at it is James Gunn has made what, 4 to 6 superhero projects now, right? Like the Guardians trilogy, he helped do Avengers in some parts, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and now this.
Yeah.
I think he did Creature Commandos as well, but I don't know. So far he hasn't missed, is the way I look at it.
That is true.
He has made a lot of projects that are all really good. The Guardians trilogy are fantastic, and those are with people you had no idea who they were.
Yeah, but by the end you love
Superman. Superman is a pretty easy character to make you like.
Yeah.
And I think at the same time, if he brings half as much passion that he's brought to, bringing a giant starfish to life, I'm pretty sure he can handle bringing this character to life.
Yeah.
I think if he brings half as much passion, which this guy clearly has a love for the universe and the comics and the source material. And I think that's going to be the most important thing in terms of the success of this universe.
So here's a question for you. We obviously did our episode on the future of the MCU, and now we've done the future of the DCU. Of the two, what are you kind of more looking forward to in general? Like, what are you more hyped for or more optimistic about?
You're making me pick between Marvel and DC here. Is what you're trying to get me to do.
Not necessarily. Like,
you want me to piss off one of the fan bases. Is what you want me to do.
Look, I got to get a clip somehow. No.
Yeah.
I think.
And you know what? I'm gonna give it to you.
Oh, all right.
Me personally, listen. I have always been. Listen, I'm a DC guy, right? It has nothing to do with Marvel.
Yep.
It's just that I'll die on the hill of I think DC has more iconic face value characters.
Yeah.
Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern. I think all of them are more iconic face value superheroes.
With the exception of Spider-Man from.
The exception is Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Hulk.
Yeah.
And even them, a lot of them have kind of fallen to the wayside over the last 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman are all still the top 3. Yeah. But, I think there's a lot that I don't think it's by anything that Marvel's done, although I haven't agreed with a lot of the movie choices and stuff like that. But that has nothing to do with that, because they can do whatever they want, and DC can do whatever they want. But I think the problem and the reason I'm more excited for DC is that the future is looking brighter for DC than it has in a long time.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with Marvel. It's just that the DCEU failed me so many times in my own headcanon of I was like, dude, this project could have been so good, but they fumbled it because they just did X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Or, they everything with Cavill and everything with all that. So I think the future is brighter in my mind for DC, only because of they were just at their lowest point.
Yeah.
Marvel's still riding the high of Endgame, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. That was their what I mean? When you make the second highest or the most highest grossing movie of all time, that's a very good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Endgame was
that's not your
huge.
It was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And they've came out with great projects since then. There's nothing against that, but it's just.
Yeah.
I think when you compare the two in terms of brighter futures, DC's future obviously looks brighter because they didn't fall off. There was no low point for Marvel as much. Obviously,
DC hit
Phase 4,
so they can only go up.
Yeah, Phase 4. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, you can have your opinions about it, and I like it. It has its ups and downs, but there were still projects that were fantastic in it, and Deadpool and Wolverine and Spider-Man and. There and Shang-Chi and there were things were really, really good, right?
Yeah.
So I don't where DC there was a lot of stuff that sucked.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean that there isn't still cool stuff coming from Marvel.
There were still good things.
Good, that sort of stuff, but
absolutely. I mean the Thunderbolts look so good.
Oh yeah.
But
I can't I don't know if I have an answer per se. I think there's just good movies in both and things I'm more excited for. And
I don't like picking between the two.
Yeah, and it's not like you have to pick between the two. You get to see.
No, go watch both, right?
So,
but yeah, I would say DC's future is only brighter because they weren't at rock bottom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or they were at rock
They
bottom.
were,
So
yeah.
when the Rock is taking over your universe, there's probably
That's
a
when
problem.
you get rock bottom. That rock's bottom.
They were literally at rock bottom.
Oh no.
The rock bottom.
The rock bottom.
Yeah. You know what though? He was right about one thing. The evolution of or the hierarchy of power did change, but just not in the DC universe. It was in the DCU boardroom because James Gunn came in and wiped the whole thing.
Yeah, he was right.
He was
about
right.
Thing.
He was right, but he just didn't. He thought it was him. He thought it was Black Adam.
It's
just
like you're right about one thing. We are the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. That's funny.
No,
That's funny.
No. Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to it. It's gonna be good.
Leave comments below on what project you guys are most excited for. Looking forward to any of that sort of stuff. Casting.
Thanks for sticking around and letting us kind of take our time and all that because we
should be a little more consistent. At least until like through April probably, and hopefully after that. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't predict everything.
We'll try and let you guys know when we're gonna go on break. But
a guest next week. We won't say who, but
yeah, we got some cool guests coming up. We got some cool guests lined up.
Oh yeah, there's a lineup of people that were like.
Oh, and you know what I will say? I'm gonna tease this for February.
Mm-hmm.
In February we're gonna have our very first, or we're gonna try to have our very first returning guest.
Oh, dang! I didn't even know that, bro. You keep springing this on me. It's just like last time.
I know, dude. It's gonna be sick.
All right. Well,
I don't even think the person knows yet, but I'm gonna try and get him back.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna be all for this episode. So thank you guys for sticking around with us.
Yeah.
Stopping by, appreciate it a whole bunch. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and all of that. Do you have anything to say?
Before we go, sorry to Slater, we ran out of time.
Oh, I almost forgot about him. Actually, I did forget about him. I forgot about it entirely, honestly.
Sorry to Slater. We ran out of time for you, so
yeah. Next time
we'll get you next time.
Maybe that's the guest we talked about. So everyone, have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Bye.
Have a good one, guys. Peace.